Hello, my name is Olivia and I'm from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to give you a video of my top 10 ultimate book boyfriends. Now, in this video I'm giving a list of my top 10 ultimate boyfriends, but these are basically just the top 10 that I could think of when I create this list. I read a lot of books, which means that I have a lot of potential book boyfriends, and I'm here to show you some of my favourite ones. Before we get started though, I wanted to tell you some of the characteristics I really enjoy and I know come back often in my book boyfriends, and the number one of that is loyalty. I think that if you're loyal to the main character or the love interest, you are going to already make quite a good love interest. So loyalty, being able to defend your woman, being sweet sometimes, these are all things that just come back again and again in my book boyfriends. And I know some of my choices are problematic. I'll explain why they are problematic, and you know, we can talk about it in the comments, chill, you know what I mean. Okay, so let's get on to number one. My ultimate book boyfriend is actually one that you don't really see featured a lot. He's from the series called Gone by Michael Grant, and his name is dillyo. Dillyo is kind of a main character, kind of a side character. He's one of the few people trapped underneath this dome that does not have powers. It's a book about kids who are trapped underneath a dome and they start to develop powers like mutations, and a whole lot of stuff goes down. But basically dillyo is one of the few kids who just doesn't have a power. But I really like him because he's stuck by Sam, the main character. He's so loyal and he has such a practical thinking mind that I couldn't help but kind of fall in love with him while reading. For people who have read the whole series, you might be Olivia, because there's something there about me choosing him as a book boyfriend. No spoilers, but you know, I don't care, I'm still choosing him as my book boyfriend. Okay, number two. Now, although he isn't actually one of my ultimate book boyfriends, this is a team, like team this or team that in a love triangle, and I just gotta put my, opinion out there. When it comes to the Hunger Games, I am 100% team Gale. I recently rewatched the whole series of movies with my sisters and my cousin, and from watching those movies I can understand why people are team Peter, but Gale was so loyal, and although he's kind of aggressive at times, I'm still team Gale. Okay, ultimate book boyfriend number three, and that has to be Edward Cullen. I know, I love Twilight. I will always love the Twilight series, and I was always team Edward. Edward is just incredibly loyal to the point where he's overprotective, but he's still loyal, and he's incredibly sweet to Bella. He just wants the best for Bella, and sometimes he decides what's best for Bella on his own, and that's not okay. Let's take the second book for example. Not okay. Just ask her. She knows what she wants. And I do think it's a bit problematic, their whole love story about the whole like, I'll commit suicide if you don't live, and that is problematic, not something to be overlooked. And I do know his overprotective, creepily overprotective, watching her when you sleep, not letting her see who she wants to see, problematic. But my 12-year-old self, when I first read this book to me rereading it this year, I still love Edward Cullen, and that's just the way things are going to be. Okay, moving on to the fourth, and that has to do with the Infernal Devices. I haven't actually finished this series yet. I'm still halfway through the second book as the point of me filming this video, but I have to say that I am totally team Jem and not team Will, and Jem is going to be the book boyfriend choice because Jem is just, again, incredibly loyal, and he's incredibly sweet to Tessa. You know, when there's like a choice between the bad guy or the good guy, Will is clearly the bad guy. Apparently there's reasons for that, I might find out later on, but up until this point he is the bad guy, Jem is the good guy. Go with the good guy, girl, be happy. Although he's kind of ill and so on, but go with him. Anyway, on the same vein as that, for book boyfriend number five, I'm going to choose Simon from the Shadowhunter series, the Mortal Instruments series, and that's, yeah, again in the same vein. I'm choosing Simon over Jace because to a point Clary and Jace, their story just got a bit meh, and I didn't really care about them anymore. But my favourite character in the whole series is Izzy, and there's Simon. Simon is so loyal. He gets treated really badly for someone who's that loyal to Clary and to the whole gang of Shadowhunters, and he just is always happy, humorous, up for anything, gets dragged into a lot of things. You've just got to keep that resilience going, and who he ends up with, he's really happy with. So yeah, Simon. Book boyfriend number 6 is Percy from the Percy Jackson series. When I say he's a book boyfriend, I actually don't want, you know, most of these book boyfriends is like, oh, this is someone I wouldn't mind having for myself. No, this is a book boyfriend who is on my list because he's so great, but I don't want him as like my book boyfriend at all, because I ship him and Annabeth so much. I think they are the ideal couple. Percy is just so great because, I was going to go on about how great Annabeth is because she's wonderful too, but Percy is so great because he's funny, he's brave, he's kind of up for anything. He goes on all these quests and he just keeps going through them, and he's loyal to his best friends, and he would do anything for them, and he would just do anything to make this world a good place, and the world needs more people like Percy, and he deserves his happily ever after. For number 7, I'm going to choose 4 from the Divergent series. I read the Divergent series a very long time ago and I haven't reread it since, but I absolutely loved 4. I think 4 was great. I can't really actually remember why he's so great, but he's on this list because he was great, okay? He was good. As number 8, I am going to put Minho from the Maze Runner series. Again, that's another series that I read ages and ages ago. I don't quite remember why Minho was like so brilliant in my mind, but he must have been brilliant because I got a shirt that I own. Actually, I still have it, and it's got Minho's face on it, and it says Minho. I spent money on this shirt. I must have loved him to some extent at some point in my fangirl life. I'm going to be choosing a villain as my 8th character, and that has to be the Darkling from the Shadow and Bone series by Leigh Bardugo. I love the Darkling. I actually would be happy if Alina ended up with the villain in this book, because the villain is so evil, but he's kind of evil with a reason, you know, grey area kind of villain. But then he's so brilliant just because he's so intense, he's so dark. I mean, his name is the Darkling. How much darker than that can you get? And I just thought he was a brilliant, you know, misguided character. And as the final book boyfriend that I'm going to mention, I have to mention Wolf from the Lunar Chronicles. He actually should have been up there earlier on my list. You know, in the Lunar Chronicles, which is a retelling of fairy tales in a sci-fi kind of fantasy world, it's a brilliant series, I highly recommend it. But Wolf is, you know, the Little Red Riding Hood story, and there's all these couples in this book, but Wolf just stood out the most to me because feminism, people, feminism. He calls her other half the alpha female. Do you know how feminist, admirable that is? And he's so loyal to her, do anything to protect her, and he's so sweet to her, which basically embodies all the characteristics I like to see in my guys. Okay, so that was my top 10, but also in the comment section below, tell me who your ultimate love interest is from another book. It doesn't have to be a boyfriend, it could be a girlfriend. Who is your ultimate favourite love interest from a book? Comment down below. And that brings us to the end of this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, and hit that notification bell if you want to be updated every time I have a new video. And if you enjoyed this one, feel free to share it on any of your social media or share it with your friends. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time I have another video. Goodbye!